A viewer of my channel sponsored the creation of this video. The topic is, why did LexaGene go bankrupt a few years ago? And were there warning signs that we could have seen at that time? Maybe learn some lessons that we can carry forward as we look at companies that are pre-revenue. Should we look for some of these warning signs so that we are not caught up in another bankruptcy? So that's what this video is going to cover. I'm going to go through a different train of thought. It's going to be a little more of forensic accounting, forensic review of a company that went bankrupt. I think it'll be interesting. First, what did LexaGene attempt to do? Well, they were trying to get a system that would be a rapid detection system for pathogens. These would be used for food safety, veterinary diagnostics, water quality, and so forth. I think it was a good idea in general. We don't want our food to be contaminated with pathogens or our water and so forth. The balance sheet is really important, probably the most important document if you're looking at a company that's pre-revenue, because we need to be assured that they have the cash, the liquidity in order for them to be viable for the next 3 to 5 years. So I'm going to look at the cash balance and see if they have any debt and then compare that to their cash burn. So when we look at this balance sheet, in 2021, they had $9.62 million. It's not a lot of cash. The year before that, they were at $3 million. And I'm going to show you where they were able to get a little bit of cash, but not a lot. So that's a very low cash balance. It would have been better, obviously, if they had much more cash in order to operate with, and maybe they could have gotten their product to market. They do not have long-term debt, so that's good. They have a lease probably on the office they worked out of and the laboratory that they were leasing. Not a big deal. That's not a problem. So no debt, just a long-term lease, and they have about a little over $9 million of cash. All right, now let's take a look at the statement of cash flows. Now, when we look at the statement of cash flows, this basically tells us what is the business either consuming in cash or producing in cash. We want to buy companies that produce a lot of cash and grow the amount of cash they're producing. That's what makes them really valuable. This business in 2020 was producing a little bit of, the cash burn wasn't too bad. It was $5 million from operations. And as we go forward to 2021, their cash burn was $9 million. Okay. And that's where it really gets dicey because they had roughly a little over $9 million. Okay. So things have gotten really tight. And then they kept burning at that rate and they went into a deficit of cash in 2022 and couldn't get any more cash. So that was one first sign that, hey, these guys are going to run into trouble. They basically, back in 2021, we could see they had 1 year of cash left. That wasn't a lot of time. Maybe we could have compared that 1 year timeline with what management was saying was their timeline to get the product commercialized. Going down this statement of cash flows, this is cash from investing. They didn't do much cash there, so this wouldn't have moved the needle. The other symptom that I see in the stock that is a problem is they created cash by issuing out more stock. They were liquidating the company, just trying to get more cash by issuing out more shares. And some investors were willing to give them that cash. And that would have been really risky. Now, if this would have worked out, maybe they would have made 10,000% on their investment, but it didn't. This is a high risk situation. This is another sign that these guys are fairly desperate. One more warning sign that is visual is where the stock was trading. It definitely was trading down as early as March of 2021. Investors began to lose faith in the company, and the stock went down up until it declared bankruptcy. And I would say that low price stocks, for example, in 2021, this was priced at 42 cents. Even before that, it was priced at $1. It's priced at $1 for a reason. There's not a lot of interest in the company. There's not a lot of confidence in the company. Maybe as the um, initial founders of the company began to think of this idea, they should have capitalized far better. They should have had a good number of investors that believed in the idea before they actually embarked on trying to make this company work. Instead, they operated with a really low penny stock status, and penny stocks are down that low for a reason. They're highly risky, they stand to go bankrupt. And this is an example. This should have been a flashing red light that, hey, it's below $1 for a reason. This is a very risky stock. I asked Gemini AI for the most common reasons why a business goes bankrupt, and it aligns with what I just covered. The first reason is poor financial management, which includes inadequate cash flow management, inadequate ability to see that you're going to need a certain amount of cash flow and liquidity to get your product commercialized. So that was certainly something that was in place here. The excessive debt was not an issue here, but it could be in other companies, especially around companies that have a lot of assets that have to go into debt. Those are risky. Remember that debt is risk. And the last point, lack of financial planning. I would say that when the founders started the idea and started going down the road, I think they could have more carefully outlined how they're going to have the liquidity to get this product to the commercial stage. And obviously, they failed at that. So, those are lessons learned on investing in companies. Be aware if you see a stock that is priced really low, it's priced really low for a reason. It's risky. And it should be the first sign that, hey, pump the brakes, do your homework. Get very familiar with their balance sheet and their statement of cash flow. Be sure you understand how much cash are they burning per year. Okay. And then try to, it's very simple. They're burning $10 million a year. Okay. If that's not going to increase, how much cash do they have? They've got 50 million. Okay. Simple math. They got about 5 years of cash. That could give us a timeline of their liquidity. That would have been something that would have revealed a big problem with this stock. And if you were an investor looking to buy this really low price stock in 2021, you could have likely avoided putting money into the company. So that's my review of a stock that went bankrupt. It was a good exercise. And again, I appreciate that viewer that sponsored this video. I hope you found this video interesting, and I appreciate your support. Thank you for watching the video. I hope you found it interesting. I have a paid member program where I provide more access to member only videos, access to member calls where we talk about stocks in the market, access to a Discord where each day we're communicating about stocks in the market, and on live streams, you can nominate tickers that I could do deep dives on. It's a variety of perks that I reward members that have sponsored the channel. It's quite simple, and it only takes a few dollars to become a member. Visit my home screen, and on my home screen, you'll see a join button toward the bottom of the screen. When you click that button, you'll see the 3 different options. Check it out and see which option would give you the type of benefit, access, knowledge, enablement that you're looking for. I think it'll really be worth it. You'll advance your skill set, your knowledge, and become a better investor. Thanks for your consideration. Thanks again for watching the video, and good luck with your investments.